Right now, this is just a example data set. This isn't like an actual real-time data set, so it's not updating or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a basic, tiling map. And here we have some entities, some data points, and we can sort by region or by type. So let me just, there's some social media plus, and we can see, for example, some social media sentiment. And uh, yeah, like I said, these aren't currently real time, but yeah, these are some example. For example, we're getting some, this would be, for example, aggregated by the AI would, uh, by on its own and with some relations to other data points decide on risk factor, threat index, or something. And we, here is a sort of a querying slot. I don't have, actually, I could have used Jimmy for this, but I didn't think of using Jimmy at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, I haven't like linked an API to this, so it doesn't actually, currently you can't actually send prompts, but the point is that you have these data points and you could sort of go here to, for example, the relational graph and select data points as context for the LLM to focus on. And based on those data points, it would generate you an answer in relation to the other data points. And if it needs to sort of, you can ask it to go more in depth on certain data points. And with the plan is in the future to have tiered pricing with higher tiers of pricing, there would be dedicated open source intelligence focused on your queries.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So it would basically crawl and scrape the web. For the plan is to either use some multi-language LLM or some good translation API, so we can get all data points from all around the world and just translate them and vectorize them in real time, so you can search through everything. You don't exactly need to obviously get the get a perfect query.
Wait, what are the how are you pulling like these APIs? Are they like is there a social media API or are these like gray APIs you're just scraping together?
Most most of these APIs, like GDELs, you can just pull it with the library and go. You don't really need, you don't, there's nothing, there's no sign up or anything. It's just there.
Yeah.
With ACLED, there's a sign up process of a few days. And with everything else, technically you're supposed to use the formal social media.
Yeah. I see. Man, this looks great. The UI is super clean.
Yeah, thank you. I've been working on it a bit. It used to be pretty, I think ugly, but I think it looks pretty neat now. This is just layer one, in my opinion. This is nowhere near where I want the potential of this to be at. You can sort by different sorts of data points, but I feel like this isn't integrated nearly as well as as I envision it. And that's obviously got to do more with the lack of LOM integration.
Yeah.
Once I get that working and linked with the API for maybe Claude, or I'll use Jimmy initially, I'll be able to, the LLM will be able to go through this entire database, which is updated in real time, and the LLM will be able to basically, mm, like I said, crawl through it, look through all the data points, make inference on its own, and ask more questions. And you're going to be able to, as a user, create projects,
Yeah.
which are basically these maintained contexts. So you'll have a project and the LLM will know all the relevant info to that specific project. You'll be able to ask general stuff like, maybe I want to analyze the ongoing conflict in Iran, and I want to specifically focus on the impact that the closing of the Strait of Hormuz will have on, I don't know, Kuwait.
Man, this is very timely.
Yeah, how will that impact the global economy? And so the AI would just do the research for you and present you with an analysis that you can work off of, and you can use that for your own. analysis, and it wouldn't just be a like black box. But the plan is to show sources, from GDEL, which shows you all its sources on its own.
Yeah.
Which GDEL is a really good resource, ACLED, those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what Meridian is in its current state. There's a lot of work to do, and I would like to work with more people on.
Yeah.
I
Wait.
definitely see, a future where collaborating with, yeah, yeah, thanks. Collaborating with some other people, maybe in the future, even some contracts featuring Meridian. I don't plan this just for consumer use. I do plan on maybe commercial, financial institutions, uh, hedge funds, those sorts of things. I feel like could really make use of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you like it's also probably a great opportunity slash experience for someone like you to build like the skill set to have like multiple people working under you or working with you. Like once you reach a certain point where you're really creative and you're bottlenecked by like the implementation, if you have people that like trust your judgment, which I'm sure like many people here do, it would be great to have you kind of doing team lead stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be really great, especially I don't really have time because I'm trying to finish up, high school, and it's
That's crazy to me. You're in high school. Yeah.
yeah. I'm just trying to, finish up. I'll be honest, you wouldn't be that impressed if you saw my grades, but yeah, I just got to finish it. Well, I mean, it was like nobody go to college, and I do plan on, definitely getting in touch with professors and universities about my work, and hopefully trying to get more people to collaborate with me.
Yeah.
Do think people in this server are really great and have a lot of potential. So like,
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it for Meridian
Okay.
fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd also like to talk a little bit about Jimmy 8. So this is going to be done in real time. I
Okay.
this doesn't itself, but I've been sort of debugging it for a while. And Jimmy 8 is basically this multi-agentic.
Wait, are we gonna leak the info about Jimmy? we,
No, we're not leaking the info. We're just, not leaking the API. Just this is a project I've been working on. In the end, it probably won't be using Jimmy because Jimmy probably won't be around by then. But basically, there's two different layers to this. There's the workers and the manager or the orchestrator. So there's 8 workers, and each of these are small, like relatively small 8 billion parameter AI instance.
yeah.
And the manager is also one of these instances, but the manager is prompted to split up the user's request prompt and split up the work among the different workers. And each of the workers has its own system prompt injection, and the manager has its own system prompt injection. I've pre-made these things, and I've gotten them ready to just hit run. So I'll just do that, and
Yeah.
I hope it works. All right, here we go. Okay, that's not good. Oh no. Oh, I messed something up. Okay.
Oh well, I mean,
No. Okay, yeah, this is gonna take a while to debug. I really wanted this to be ready in time, but unfortunately it's not. Just give me 1 second.
yeah, man. Now I'm not impressed at all. No, that's and this is all like web UI. Why did you like to do that instead of like some kind of Tmux CLI or something? Like you could probably pretty easily.
Web UI was mostly like this choice was mostly because I work on so many different computers that it gets really annoying to have to reset up my, you know, all my sort of like terminal applications and stuff. So I end up doing most of the things that I do in web UI. Like for my note taking app for my personal, school stuff, I have that as a web UI. So, ideally you'd have everything in the terminal and it'd be really easy to access and really nice, but we're not really working off idealism here. We're working off what works. And for me, this is what works.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate that I couldn't get this to work, but it's actually really fast. I've gotten like relatively large code base generation in under 500 milliseconds.
And what type of code bases are you generating?
Most for right now, I've only tried Golang because, and there's a good reason for that, because with Golang you can generate really clean separation of modules. So I use Jimmy 8 to generate a single module, and that way, like, because these models are so small, they're only 8 billion parameters, they don't really have the resources to reason about larger, larger code bases and such. So
Yeah.
it's clean separation where the module has some input interface and an output interface, and the Jimmy 8 just has to fill the gap between
Why'd you pick the number of concurrent models that you did?
those. 4 was too little and 16 was too many, and 8 just felt like a good number. It could have been like 10, but 6 maybe.
Yeah.
8 was a good number because that's mostly when I'm working in Go, that's pretty much mostly how I split up my modules to be 8 to 10 files.
Yeah.
And right now it's each model is responsible for one file. In the future, I want to change that so it's more of a cascading. Each of the workers is responsible for, testing and then implementation, interface definition, scaffolding, stuff like that. But for right now, they're all independently working on files. And the idea is to expand Jimmy 8. So you'd have one Jimmy 8 instance working on one module, and you have a level above that, you have 8 or however many Jimmy 8 instances. Maybe they could like spin up and, shut down dynamically depending on how many modules your project needs. And then above that, you have a more advanced orchestration agent, maybe like Claude 4.6 or something, Sonnet.
Yeah.
And that would basically it would define all the modules and the layout, and then it would define how these layouts, how these modules are going to work, and it'd, split up the work into each of these Jimmy 8 instances.
Wow, dude, that's brilliant. Because these Jimmy instances are so fast, you could make the software development time like go. It would be cheaper by a significant margin and really fast too.
Exactly, that's the point. I really think this sort of micro-agentic programming is going to be the future of sort of AI powered programming, because a lot of the times, nowadays everyone's using the biggest, baddest model they can, but that wastes a lot of tokens. And even no matter how big a model is, it's always going to hallucinate, and it's just always going to be a mess in larger code bases. So the idea is to split everything up into as small chunks as possible, so you can more easily, your agents can more easily reason about it. So you basically offload a lot of the work to separate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That is a very cool project. Yeah. Yeah. Um, there was some other project you wanted to show as well.
Yeah, there was, it's kind of embarrassing. I haven't been able to deploy STEM TV. I'm really bad at this sort of DevOps stuff. Let me just pull up the file and I'll share my screen.
Cool. I mean, yeah. Once Tom gets out of this lecture, he should probably be able to show you the Kate's config.
Lovely. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Tom's our dedicated Kubernetes guy. He's for anyone who wants the context in the he was in the glazing portfolio video. I'll make a video with him at some point too about how this Kubernetes cluster is set up and how there's so many projects hosted on it and stuff, because it's really mind blowing. He's in the stage right now as well.
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Oh, STEM TV. This is sort of live streaming platform, the communities, and the way it works is you make a new community. See, could I? No. Oh no, I think this is the old version. Anyways, The idea is you can make a community, like let's say you want your community's name to be it's a Minecraft community, so it'd be mc.stem.tv. And in that community, you have this sort of tile grid where you can see all current live streams and you can click on one and in the live stream, oh yeah, it was kind of broken. That's what I was talking about. But in the live stream, you don't need an external recording software. You can just share your screen, you can share your camera and your microphone, and there's a real-time chat. And also you can, when you start your stream, you can decide whether it's going to be an open stage or closed stage stream.
So like invite only.
Yeah, you can basically invite people onto stage, and because all the screen sharing and video tools are integrated, someone from chat, all they have to do is request to get on stage and they can just instantly start screen sharing. They don't need to do anything else.
Man, that's awesome for pair programming, especially like in this server.
Yeah, that was the main point. That was the main reason I started working on this project, because I saw how productive you guys were working on stage, but I saw sort of this problem where a lot of people were waiting in the audience, or they weren't, like they were there, but they were multiple people on stage working on different projects at the same time, and it was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So I started working on this, hopefully organize that a bit more.
Yeah.
And the main thing that I really want to get working is whisper flow creation. And what that will do is basically you can enable the feature, probably a paid feature because whisper flow is expensive for distributed use cases.
Yeah.
You can enable it and it'll basically cache what you're saying and occasionally generate, summaries of what you're doing on stream. So anyone hopping into stream for the first time can just type like /some v for /some summarized video in the chat, and it'll send them a summary of everything that's happened so far. And it won't summarize the whole video every time. It'll inject the previous summaries into the main summary, like the main summaries prompt, and then it'll send you the response to that. And I'm also thinking of the same kind of integration for the chat, so you don't have to constantly be keeping up with the chat either.
That would be really handy. Plus, you could like cache the last checked timestamp, so you don't have to re-summarize the whole video every time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's incredibly useful. Yeah,
That's the plan so far.
yeah. Man, that is awesome.
I would have loved to, actually my plan was we could do this interview on STEM TV, but I couldn't get that work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, you're definitely more than welcome to come back on. I am kind of just rushing through trying to interview people, which is maybe not. This is
pretty much what I had to show.
Yeah. Real quick, as a tack on, it would be cool to just hear about, like, from your perspective, if you, I don't want to ask a specific question as much as just to say, like, you're like, what's going on in your life? Like, what are you shooting for the next couple of years? You're in like a very good position with your programming ability, and especially now, if you can like harness your ability to lead people and you have a lot of initiative to organize, you could do some pretty amazing things, even like early into college.
Context. I've been programming for quite a bit. I started teaching myself with JavaScript and Scratch when I was like 7.
Yeah.
And I basically continually was on this sort of learning path, and I was never really applying any of my knowledge. It was all just, I was collecting knowledge in my mind, but I didn't have any projects. I didn't even have a GitHub account until a few years ago. But eventually I decided to, focus my efforts to actually be able to produce something. But that never really got me anywhere until I sort of joined the lab and, in your GitHub config repository, in one of the issues,
Oh yeah.
that's supposed to like a mentorship opportunities issue. And yeah, from that, I joined the server and then I met a lot of great people. I've met a lot of great people here. And that sort of really motivated me from starting from like a few months back, maybe 6 months back, to really start taking my project seriously. I do think that I have a lot of capability. A lot of the projects I work on, I can get what I want out of it in maybe a day, maybe two. That's why I was kind of frustrated with STEM TV. I couldn't get it working, but that's the natural process of learning something new.
I mean, yeah, that's also a pretty ambitious project with like multi video streaming is not easy.
Yeah, LiveKit really has given me a lot of headaches. It's the that's what I'm using for the real-time video streaming.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's basically the context of where I'm coming from. Right now, I'm in Bosnia. I've been studying here abroad for 4 years, and I'm gonna move back to the States in a few months for university.
Yeah. Where are you going to school?
Rutgers, New Jersey.
Oh, that's kind of close to me.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe we could do a real life meetup. I'm starting to plan. I'm planning to start a YouTube channel pretty soon.
Yeah. I think you should start a YouTube channel. You heard the argument yet that once AI video becomes like indistinguishable from reality, the only way to know that someone is authentic is if they had a platform before the technology became possible. I think everyone should start a YouTube channel.
That's kind of scary, but also really true.
Yeah.
For the future of my projects, Meridian is really my big focus right now. I do have a few smaller projects. Like I wouldn't say STEM TV is a small project, but it is a project that I do plan on finishing in the upcoming month.
Yeah.
And y- you know, going on with it from there. I don't plan on slowing down its development or anything, but I don't plan on heavily investing like all my time into it either.
Right. Yeah.
And, also the multi-agentic program orchestration, I'm codenaming it Hornet for now. That's another, that's a pretty big project. That's another focus, but really my main focus as of now is Meridian. And that's because I really think that there's a gap here in this market for intelligence and for, as they say, monitoring the situation, especially for consumer use cases and for, because most intelligence platforms are only really for government contracts or for, enterprise use cases. Like Bloomberg Terminal is $32,000. That's not really an intelligence platform. It's more of, a fintech thing, but the, the amount of data you can get from those tools, I think is really cool. And, sort of distributing that to the masses, obviously within reason, 'cause this stuff is expensive. Not, well, the development is expensive, but the primary thing is obviously getting the data and, processing the data. And that's what's going to take up most of the cost. I can already tell you that much.
Yeah.
It's already taken up most of the cost in terms of, energy usage on my home server. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I really would love to get to know people, to, work with anyone who thinks they could add something to Meridian, who's, looking for a long-term project that's going to be commercialized, not just, open source projects are cool, but also money.
I agree on that one. It's pretty important in life. I think having this go out to YouTube could help with that because there are people that aren't currently in the server but like are really interested in working with you on this. Then we could potentially let them in and like ideally like with if we get STEM TV working, it should be pretty easy to have like multiple parallelized kind of pair programming sessions, and you could take the lead on that, which you can honestly take the lead on maintaining STEM on STEM, which is meta, but
Oh wait, I totally forgot about one last feature on STEM that I wanted to mention, which
Yeah.
is sort of AI clipping, basically based on chat data and based on, if like word processing based on if a user says clip that, stuff like that. When you end your stream, the plan is for STEM TV to automatically generate and send you a zip file containing clips.
Oh,
Just use them,
yeah.
post them on Shorts, post them on different platforms. And, because STEM TV has, a separate stream for your video camera and a separate stream for your shared screen, what you can do is for Shorts, you don't have to manually, decide which part of the screen is on Shorts. You can, like, STEM TV can automatically format it so that the top half of your, short screen is your screen and the bottom half is your actual shared screen. I mean, the top half is your video camera.
Dude, you could get even crazier and like throw auto captioning on there and then throw it on auto YouTube upload. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I think also like that'll be super helpful for me putting together videos, especially with if we have like multiple concurrent projects on STEM, having that just to make like weekly summary videos, so people can have context about what projects to join moving forward will be really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and because I'm separating STEM into communities, and each community has its hoster, like it's someone is hosting the community and managing the community, not on the STEM development team. Those people are going to be able to set, rules for the server. They're going to be able to set, use like how you can use the community, and they're obviously going to get summaries from the stream, and they're going to be able to share that if they so choose.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Man, this is really going places. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan so far. Obviously, implementation leaves something to be desired at its current state. I don't plan on being all bark and no bite. I do have a very concrete plan on how I'm going to implement all these things. But I obviously, as I've said, I'm not too competent in the dev. So I'm trying to get.
Yeah. I mean, me either, but that's why just having mentorship is so awesome. Like that'll make the process there like 10 times easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And it'd be great to already have STEM TV while building STEM TV, but peer programming just would also be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, cool. Ideally, if we can host this on the server cluster as well, that'll be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, cool. That's basically about it. This constitutes definitely.
All all I've been working on for these past few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have like a unified dashboard that'll plug into Meridian just to see the end of the world in real time. Yeah. 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 All right. Cool. That's basically because yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah.